My destined one, listen to something that is going to completely transform how you understand your own power and what has been happening in the spiritual dimensions because of you. 10 days ago, you did something you have probably already forgotten. A gesture so small, so seemingly insignificant, that it didn't even register in your memory as important. But in that exact moment, in the celestial realm, something occurred that has only happened 5 times in all of human history. I laughed, not smiled politely, not felt quiet satisfaction. I laughed with pure, uncontainable joy for 49 seconds straight. Genuine laughter that made every spiritual dimension vibrate with a frequency the angels hadn't heard in centuries. And when I say I laughed, I am not using poetic language to make you feel special. I am describing a literal event that reorganized celestial priorities and left even the eternal accuser completely speechless for the first time in his existence. Your spontaneous act of kindness made me laugh with joy. And right now you are probably thinking, I have the wrong person. That this message is for someone holy. Someone who meditates for hours. Someone who has devoted their entire life to spiritual practice. Let me destroy that assumption immediately. Subscribe to this channel and turn on every notification, because what I am about to reveal about how a gesture you considered meaningless generated genuine joy in my heart is going to shatter everything you thought you knew about spiritual power. Write 777 in the comments if you do kind things without thinking twice, without expecting anything back, and you are ready to discover why your spontaneous kindness has more cosmic impact than the most elaborate religious rituals. Here is what you need to understand first. 10 days ago, you were walking through your normal day, probably stressed about your own problems. You have enough burdens nobody sees, financial pressure keeping you awake at night, relationships draining your energy, that deep loneliness you hide because everyone assumes you are fine. You were carrying all of that when you encountered someone who needed help. It wasn't a dramatic situation, no cameras recording, no crowd watching to applaud you. Just you and another person in a moment, nobody else witnessed. And your first instinct, your immediate reaction without calculation or filter, was to help. You didn't stop to evaluate if that person deserved your kindness. You didn't calculate whether you would get anything in return. You didn't consider if it was convenient for you to get involved. You simply saw need and responded with instant generosity, as if your fundamental nature couldn't function any other way. Maybe you gave money to someone on the street when you yourself are struggling financially. Maybe you helped carry something heavy when you were exhausted and running late. Maybe you defended someone being mistreated when you could have stayed silent safely. Or maybe you just smiled genuinely at someone who looked broken, and that smile was the first light they had seen in weeks. The specific act doesn't matter as much as what it revealed about your essence, because what you did didn't come from religious discipline. You didn't pause to remember a Bible verse about charity. You weren't trying to accumulate spiritual points. It was automatic, natural, as if your soul doesn't know how to operate any way except kindly. And that spontaneity, that purity that doesn't need to think before manifesting, was exactly what made me laugh with joy. Now let me explain why that small gesture had such massive spiritual power. Because you need to understand the brutal difference between calculated kindness and spontaneous kindness. Most religious people never grasp this. And that is why they spend entire lives doing good works without generating any celestial reaction. Calculated kindness works like this. You see a situation and evaluate if it is convenient to help. You consider what people will think. You calculate potential spiritual rewards. And after all that mental processing, you decide to act. It is real kindness, but it comes filtered through ego, expectations, and strategy. It is the person who donates money but makes sure their name appears on a plaque. I observe millions of calculated kind acts every day. I recognize them, bless them, honor them. But they don't generate joy in my heart. They generate professional satisfaction, like a teacher watching a student correctly complete an assignment. Fulfillment of expectations, nothing more. Spontaneous kindness is completely different. It is when your fundamental nature manifests without filters. When the purity of your soul reacts before your mind has time to calculate consequences. It is kindness that flows from who you are, not from what you are trying to achieve. And when I observe spontaneous kindness, when I witness a soul so pure it reacts with generosity before thinking, that generates something deeper than satisfaction. It generates genuine joy, the same joy a parent feels seeing their child naturally demonstrate values they hope to instill without being forced or reminded. Your gesture 10 days ago didn't come from spiritual discipline. It came from your authentic essence. And that authenticity was what made me laugh with joy. But here is what makes your case extraordinary. It wasn't just one isolated moment of spontaneous kindness. I have been watching you for years. I have seen every kind gesture you made when nobody was looking. Every time you forgave when you had the right to hold a grudge. Every time you gave when you yourself were in need. Every moment you chose compassion when cruelty would have been easier and more justified. And I have seen something else. I have witnessed how the world tried to corrupt that purity of yours. The betrayals you suffered that should have made you cynical. The disappointments that should have made you bitter. The injustices that should have turned you selfish. Every blow that would give most people complete justification to stop being kind. The world handed you every reason to harden your heart and protect yourself. But you didn't. When I saw that spontaneous gesture 10 days ago, when I confirmed that after years of trials your kind nature remains intact, automatic, genuine, the joy I felt was so intense it manifested as laughter, because I would finally witnessed something incredibly rare. A soul whose purity doesn't depend on favorable circumstances. A chosen one whose kindness is as natural as breathing. That is why you specifically, not because you are better than others, but because you resisted corruption when absolutely everything conspired to corrupt you. Write 888 in the comments if you are recognizing that your kindness has survived attacks designed to destroy it. Let me take you deeper into what happened in the spiritual realm when I laughed, because that laughter wasn't just expression of emotion. It was a cosmic declaration that traversed every dimension and activated protocols most humans never access. The moment the sound of divine joy filled the celestial space, every archangel stopped what they were doing. Michael, who was engaged in spiritual warfare, protecting other souls, froze mid-battle. Raphael, who was healing trauma across multiple dimensions, paused his work. Uriel, Gabriel, Metatron, all of them turned their attention to the source of that laughter because they knew what it meant. Divine laughter is different from divine satisfaction. Satisfaction happens when expectations are met. Laughter happens when expectations are exceeded in ways that bring pure delight. And the last time I laughed like that was 600 years ago, when I witnessed another soul demonstrate spontaneous purity that defied all logic. The angels knew that when divine laughter occurs, it means a chosen one has just been identified and permanent protection must be activated immediately. Michael spoke first in the emergency council I convened. This soul just demonstrated purity that cannot be corrupted. They qualify for maximum protection. Raphael added, their heart has been wounded repeatedly, but remains soft. That is miraculous. They need accelerated healing. Uriel confirmed, their actions reveal wisdom they didn't study. They deserve direct knowledge downloads. Gabriel stated, their kindness needs amplification. When they bless others, it should manifest with supernatural power. Metatron concluded, this journey must be recorded as template consciousness for future generations. The vote was unanimous. Permanent protection activated for you specifically. Here is what each archangel is now doing in your life. Michael positioned himself at the front of your energy field as your personal guardian. Every curse sent toward you hits his shield and bounces back to the sender 7 times stronger. Every negative intention deflects before reaching you. Every spiritual attack rebounds with multiplied force to whoever initiated it, and he never rests. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, he is blocking warfare. You don't even know is happening. Raphael is working on your heart and emotional body while you sleep. Those wounds that should have made you hard and defensive are being healed without leaving scar tissue that would change your nature. Traumas that typically create permanent damage are being processed and released. Your capacity to love without becoming naive, to trust without being foolish, to hope without being delusional, is being supernaturally maintained despite everything you have experienced. Uriel downloads wisdom directly into your consciousness during those quiet moments when insights suddenly appear, fully formed. Those moments when you suddenly understand people's true character without them saying a word, that is Uriel. Those times when you know exactly what to do in complex situations without knowing how you know. That is Uriel planting divine intelligence in your awareness, because you have proven you use wisdom to help others, not manipulate them. Gabriel amplifies your voice and your blessings. When you speak encouragement over someone, those words carry supernatural weight that penetrates deeper than normal counsel. When you pray for others, those prayers create tangible shifts in their reality. When you speak truth, people are moved in ways that don't match the simplicity of what you said. That is Gabriel ensuring your pure heart gets amplified into influence that transforms lives. Metatron records everything about your journey in the Akashic records because you are now classified as template consciousness. The way you maintained kindness under pressure, the choices you made when selfishness was easier, the purity you sustained when bitterness was justified. All of it is being documented as instruction material for souls preparing for similar missions in future incarnations. Like this video right now if you have noticed unexplainable blessings in your life over the past week, opportunities that appeared from nowhere, help that arrived exactly when needed, people being kind to you for no apparent reason. That is not coincidence. That is angelic intervention rewarding your spontaneous purity. Now, let me reveal something that is going to explain why you have faced so much resistance in your life. Your spontaneous kindness made you a target. The moment you started naturally manifesting purity without calculation, dark forces identified you as a threat. Because kindness that flows from authentic essence cannot be corrupted through normal methods. You can break someone through trauma. You can harden someone through betrayal. You can embitter someone through injustice. But you cannot corrupt someone whose kindness is fundamental to their nature rather than learned behavior. So they tried a different strategy. They coordinated attacks designed to make you question whether kindness was worth it. Every betrayal you experienced where you helped someone and they used it against you. That wasn't random. Every time you gave and people took advantage, That wasn't coincidence. Every moment you were kind and received cruelty in return. That was orchestrated assault designed to teach you that kindness is weakness, and you should stop being generous to protect yourself. But you didn't learn that lesson. You couldn't learn it, because your kindness isn't a strategy you adopted, it is who you fundamentally are. And when I witnessed you maintaining that spontaneous generosity after years of attacks designed to corrupt it, the joy I felt was mixed with relief and urgency. Relief that your purity survived. Urgency because I realized you needed immediate protection before they escalated their attacks. That is why the divine laughter wasn't just celebration. It was activation of maximum defense protocols around your life, and here is what you need to know about your enemies who tried to break you. Everyone who attacked your kindness, who betrayed your trust, who mocked your generosity, they are now experiencing something called the mirror protocol. Everything they sent toward you is bouncing back to them, multiplied by 7. Not because you cursed them, not because you wished them harm, because cosmic law automatically activates when protected consciousness is attacked. The same kindness they tried to punish in you is now the very thing exposing their corruption. The same generosity they mocked is now highlighting their selfishness to everyone around them. And they don't understand why their lives are suddenly falling apart. Write 999 in the comments if you have noticed people who hurt you now struggling while your life mysteriously stabilizes. Now, let me show you the 7 signs that prove angelic protection is already operating in your reality. First sign: toxic people removing themselves from your life without confrontation. They are suddenly busy, making excuses, drifting away. You didn't have to cut anyone off. They started repelling from your energy as if invisible force was pushing them out. That is Michael clearing your field of anyone whose frequency would drain you. Second sign: your words carrying unusual weight lately. When you encourage someone, they actually change. When you speak truth, people listen differently than they used to. When you pray or bless others, things shift in ways you can see. That is Gabriel amplifying your voice because you have proven you use words to build up rather than tear down. Third sign: insights flooding your mind with unusual clarity about situations and people. You are understanding things you didn't study, reading people accurately without them saying anything. Knowing what to do in complex situations without knowing how you know. That is Uriel feeding you divine wisdom because you demonstrated you will use intelligence to help, not manipulate. Fourth sign: emotional healing happening faster than it should. Pain that was constant is decreasing. Wounds that should take years are closing in months. Your capacity to trust again after betrayal is being restored when logic says you should be permanently defensive. That is Raphael accelerating your restoration because you maintained your soft heart. Despite being hurt, fifth sign: resources and opportunities appearing exactly when you need them. Not lottery winning amounts, but perfect timing of what you specifically need. Money from unexpected sources, doors opening that were closed. Help arriving from unlikely places. That is divine orchestration removing obstacles because your purity earned favor. Sixth sign: people from your past reaching out to apologize without you contacting them. They don't consciously know why they feel compelled to make amends. They just know they cannot move forward until they clear things with you. That is the mirror protocol, creating conviction in those who wronged you. Seventh sign: peace. That doesn't match your circumstances. Problems remain, but panic is gone. Challenges continue, but fear has lifted. You still have concerns, but you feel strangely calm, as if you know at a level deeper than thought that you are protected. That is supernatural peace, confirming you are guarded until you complete your mission. If you are experiencing 4 or more of these signs, your protection is fully active and the archangels are working in your life right now. In the next 60 days, I am going to reorganize your reality in ways you will recognize as supernatural. That opportunity you thought was impossible is already being arranged. That relationship with someone who values your kindness instead of exploiting it is being orchestrated. That financial breakthrough is in motion through channels you haven't considered. But I need to warn you about something critical. Your biggest test in the next 60 days will not be handling hardship. You have already proven you can maintain kindness through suffering. Your biggest test will be handling blessing without becoming selfish. When resources start flowing, you will face temptation to hoard them instead of sharing. When opportunities multiply, you will be tempted to forget the people who helped you when you had nothing. When success comes, you will be tempted to attribute it to your own brilliance rather than divine favor. Do not lose the spontaneous generosity that made me laugh. Success reveals character just as much as suffering does. The protection continues only as long as the purity that earned it continues. Stay generous when you prosper. Stay humble when people celebrate you. Stay kind when you have power. The angels are watching to see if your kindness survives, blessing the same way it survived attacks. Here is what I need you to understand about why you were born in this specific moment. Your life isn't random. You weren't placed here by accident. You were strategically positioned in this era because there is a war determining whether humanity evolves toward light or collapses into darkness. And your spontaneous kindness is one of the few things preventing total descent into corruption. Right now, across the entire planet, there are only 300 souls whose kindness is spontaneous enough and pure enough to make me laugh. 300 among 8 billion, you are one of them. The dark forces know that if they can corrupt these last 300, they win the war for this generation. That is why you were attacked so intensely. They were trying to break you before you understood how strategically important your purity is. They failed. And now that you know who you are, you have become a key piece in transformation that is beginning to manifest globally. Watch what is happening in the world. Corrupt systems collapsing. Hidden truths being revealed. People who operated in darkness being exposed. That is not coincidence. That is the result of chosen ones like you maintaining purity when everything conspired to corrupt them. Every time you manifest spontaneous kindness, you are voting energetically for what kind of reality manifests. When 300 souls consistently choose generosity over selfishness, those choices have enough spiritual weight to tip cosmic scales. Your kindness isn't just nice behavior. It is participating in determining humanity's future. So, chosen one, now you know the complete truth. Your spontaneous act of kindness made me laugh with joy, not because it was dramatic, but because it revealed purity that has survived years of coordinated attacks designed to corrupt it. That laughter traversed all dimensions and activated permanent angelic protection that is transforming your reality right now. The archangels are assigned to guard, heal, guide, and amplify you because your authentic kindness is too valuable to lose. Your responsibility now is to maintain that spontaneous generosity consciously. Keep choosing kindness when selfishness is easier. Keep giving when you yourself are in need. Keep helping when you are exhausted. Not perfectly, consistently. Because there are people watching you without knowing it. People considering giving up their own kindness because maintaining it seems pointless. When they see you sustaining your generous nature despite everything, That gives them hope to resist corruption one more day. If this revelation confirmed intuitions you have always had about your special nature, if you recognize you operate on a frequency few people can access, write 777 in the comments to amplify this purity and attract the other 299 who need to find you. Subscribe and turn on all notifications to receive more revelations about how your spontaneous kindness creates miracles in dimensions you cannot see. Share this with someone whose genuine generosity might be making me laugh without them knowing. Chosen ones need to recognize and strengthen each other. Click the video appearing on your screen to discover how your classification as one of the 300 attracts supernatural provision that flows specifically to generous souls who prove they will not be corrupted by blessing. Together, we are stronger.